Well, if you guys are big fans of the Joshi Wrestling scene, you're in luck as always. You guys are always in the right channel for that. So today we're going to be reviewing three different events from three different promotions. The first one is, of course, from Sendai Girls. Now, as you all know, I recently did a review with them that took place on the 9th of February in Shinjuku FACE. However, my dumbass was not aware that there was another show before that in Osaka at the Azalea Taisho Hall. Hopefully I pronounced it right. If not, there we go. And the other is Oz Academy with the Angels of the Abyss, featuring two title matches. The AAW Tag Team titles, Bobo Momo Banana takes on H2D, consistent of Ryu Mizunami and Sonoka Kato. But also the main event features FWC from Stardom. Koguma and Azuki defend the Oz Academy tag team belts against Kohaku and, of course, Hakino. So that's going to be a fun match. And then, of course, we have SEAdLINNG with their much recent event, Winter Ends in Shinjuku, that took place on the 12th of February. Nothing too special on these matches, but however, there are some exciting ones you definitely don't want to miss out. And then, of course, we will cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all pleasantries has been said. As I said before in the start of this episode, it's all about the Joshi Wrestling. So if you guys are big fans of the Joshi Wrestling scene, well, tell your friends if they're big fans too to check out this channel and watch all the reviews. So, as always, let's begin with our very first one, and this one is from Sendai Girls. Okie dokie, so let's begin with our very first review, and this is from Sendai Girls. Now, as you probably know already, I mentioned at the start of this video, I did a review of Sendai Girls in their much recent event that happened on February 9th. That was in Shinjuku FACE, but however, I did not know about this one because it took place a day before because they were in Osaka at the Azalea Taisho Hall. Hopefully I pronounced it right. If not, there we go. So nothing too special, no title matches in case anybody would wonder. But however, let's begin with the very first match. Start from start to finish. Now, our first match we have coming from SEAdLINNG, we have Mirai Koga taking on Yuna. Now, of course, we've been seeing some of the juniors from various promotions appearing in different locations. Now, Yuna, you probably would guess, okay, she's the homegrown girl within, of course, Sendai Girls, and she most likely would win. That's exactly what she did when she applied the missile dropkick, and just like that, uno, dos, tres, se acabó. Now, our next match, we have a three-way. We have Shin Sakura Iroda versus Miyuki Takase versus Hiroyu Matsumoto. Now, of course, the one thing people need to be aware of, steer clear of Hiroda because A, she does this thing where she puts this up people's buttholes. That's the one thing you don't want to be around. And B, well, you better be careful because she likes to play little games and you don't want to get caught in her jokes. That's the like thing that you don't want. But however, she's dealing with, of course, Lady Destroyer Hiroyo Matsumoto. She's a powerhouse. You don't want to mess with her. Miyuki Takase, well, excellent wrestler. You don't want to deal with her either. But however, how did this play out? Well, uh, unfortunately, Hiroda actually ended up on the wrong side of a power bomb by Lady Destroyer herself. So Matsumoto won by pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Adios. Next up, we have tag team action. We have Minami and Ryo Mizunami taking on Yura Suzuki and Chihiro Hashimoto. Now, of course, you can see some factors here when it comes in. Minami and Ryo Mizunami have been a very cohesive team since last year. Don't forget, they were Sendai Girls tag team champions, and they are good at what they do. They both have the same feel of energy they have from their own personalities, and they feed it off each other no matter what. But when you look at Yuta Suzuki and Big Hash herself, you can tell this is a makeshift. Now, we know Hashimoto is a big powerhouse. You know she can take care of herself, but the problem is the X factor is Suzuki, who is mostly the odd one out here because A, she has to deal with people who have good cohesion. And that's exactly what happened because it was Minami with a power press, no, a body press onto Suzuki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, another singles match, we have coming all the way from Marvelous, Takumi Iroha versus Mika Iwata. So it's interesting to see these two face off each other. Now, don't forget, guys, Takumi Iroha is the current AAW champion, and Mika Iwata, the former Sendai Girls world champion. So you can tell if there's a chance that Iwata could pick up a win against her. No, most likely she could challenge her for the belt, but that's going to be interesting. So you can tell that these were at the top of their game in their own respective promotions. But however, who was going to walk out? Many of you probably would think just by looking at this match, it would be Mika Iwata since she is a homegrown. I would normally agree with you guys. But however, you look at Takumi Iroha, she has been well recognized in the Joshi Wrestling for what she does. But it was unfortunately by Iroha with the running three that took out Iwata. And then, of course, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have Chi Chi and Dash Shizako teaming up, taking on Bobo Momo Banana, Yurika Oka, and Miyu Momono. Now, of course, you see the X Factor here. Bobo Momo Banana are a very good cohesion team, but when you look at the opposition, Dash and Chi Chi, makeshift team. They are not a team that you probably see that they're buddying around, but you can guess that this is going to be a thing where it's going to play out exactly where, of course, Bobo Momonana, who are more cohesion, more you equal and unite, was going to play out. And that's exactly what happened. Yurika Oka was the one who picked up the win on Chi Chi, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, fair warning to people, I do want to put this out, and this is the following day, that's when things got a little hectic. So I'll explain a little bit when we review Oz Academy. So let's get to uh, let's get to it right now. Okay, Arts Academy Angels of the Abyss. This took place on the 9th of February in Shinjuku FACE. Now, this is where things I want to put in perspective. There were two events that took place in the same venue but different time, and this was the first one because the first match was the AAW tag team titles on the line. H2D, consisting of Sonaka Kato and Ryu Mizunami, they take on Bobo, Momo, and Banana. Now, remember I mentioned that during the last pay-per-view, I mean the last one of the last the recent review with Sendai Girls that took place on the 9th. Well, they eventually lost the Sendai Girls World Tag Team belts, but this is where, of course, they put themselves in the game against a team that also are in good cohesion. But unfortunately, this match ended with H2D winning the tag team belts. So basically, what happened? Bobo, Momo, Banana just lost two belts in one day. So basically, that's what happened. Now, I'm not sure if the injury to the elbow played a factor on this one for Mio Momono because she's going to be out of action for 3 to 6 months. So hopefully not. But if it is, then it's a shame. But hopefully she gets recovered well. But as for the post match, apparently someone wants to make a play for these belts, and that is Momoka Hanazono. So we'll see how that rolls up from there. Now, our next match, we have a three-way. We have Sayuri Ano versus Subasa Kuragaki versus Kakeru. But however, before the bell even ring, Kakeru and stupid Dirty Cop showed up again and attacked both of these ladies. You know, I really hate that guy. I feel like I just want to go over there and strangle the SOB. But however, he got it coming when Sayuri Ano actually whipped them with the whip. Yep, he had that coming. But however, Kuragaki decided not to get involved in the final moments of this match because she knows what really happened between both Karigeku and Sayuri Ano. Well, Sayuri Ano took her out by pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. But you can tell between Karigeku and Sayuri Ano, there'll be no peace between each other since they're former members of Ozaki-gun. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our next match, we have a 6-woman tag match. We have Zones, Rina Yamashita, and Lady Destroy Hiroi Matsumoto versus Coyote Yonoyama, Momoka Anazono, and Ram Kaicho. Now, of course, those who know this, I often say that, Momoka Anazono is a terror in the ring. Not like in a bad way, but the way she has her behavior, doing these things with the bubble machine, using these stuffed flowers and all that. Well, she put stuff like bubbles into Zone's mouth, into that, and she just passed out right in front of like, what just happened? So she tried to pin her, and then all of that. But however, the biggest moment that screwed up in this match was, oops, Yamashita accidentally hit Matsumoto by accident, but Matsumoto actually got a little payback from that, but unfortunately that allowed for Momoka Anazono to apply, of course, the ghetto clutch on Yamashita, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But then we did see H2D make their appearance. Now, I don't know what their plan is, what they're planning, but hopefully we get more answers to that. Now, our next match, we have Izuki Aoki versus Dash Shizako from Sendai. Now, of course, you probably would say this is going to be a good match. Now, how I was like a bit more spectacle how this was going to turn out because I wasn't too sure because they're both excellent wrestlers, but it was going to be difficult. They even thought the same thing, a stomp, frog splash, but in the end it was Dash Shizako who walked away with the win with a frog splash of her own. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now our main event, we have the Oz Academy tag team belts. We have the challengers, Kohaku and Akino versus FWC from Stardom, Koguma and Azuki. Now, the only reason this match happened was because Akino, as you all know or not, She was not too keen on the idea that a couple of wrestlers from Stardom obtained these belts. So she kind of feels like H2D dropped the ball on this one. But they, I'm sure she will do whatever it takes to bring it back. So basically, that was the whole point. Now, you would think that there's going to be some moments in this match, of course, with the Kuma pose and a few other things. But as always, it was FWC that walked away with the win because you can tell that Aquino has more experience than Kohaku. I think she has like maybe like 2 years of experience, unlike everybody else in the ring. But it was Koguma who picked up the win with the diving body press onto Kohaku, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, they retained the belt. But Aquino showed up. I don't know what she said. I'm sure she's not happy with the fact that, of course, that the Oz Academy belts are in the hands of two wrestlers from Stardom. But of course, Momo Kanazono brought herself Aizuki Aoki. I don't know if she's considering teaming up with her, the challenge for the belts. I'm sure that's the whole point that she wants, but we will see what happens. But for now, we'll just end things here with Oz Academy and move on with SEAdLINNG. Okay, so our last review, SEAdLINNG. We had this took place on the 12th of February in Shinjuku FACE, called Winter's End. So basically, you can tell now there is no title matches in case anybody asks, but there were some pretty good matches that they involved here. Um, our first match, we have Mirai Koga taking on Lady Destroyer Hiroya Matsumoto. Now, of course, you can tell that Hiroya Matsumoto does have the necessary experience against Mirai Koga. I'm not sure if she has somewhere between less than 2 years or one of experience, as a wrestler. But of course, that was going to end when Lady Destroyer applied the Texas Cloverleaf, and of course, Media actually had no choice but to tap. Now, I don't know what she said to her in the post match, but I'm sure she gave her some words of wisdom or encouragement or whatever, but we'll see. Now, our next match, we have Natsuterida Kalerida versus Rina Yamashita and Hikari Shimizu. So yeah, for those who know, I did mention several times Hikari Shimizu will be retiring next month on the 16th of March. So you may want to keep following her before she finally ends her career. But however, how you think this match was going to go? We don't. Well, it was very interesting how it is. Now, those who don't know this, in the much recent the previous SEAdLINNG review I did, well, Natsudita made a biggest botch here. As you know, she had like this plastic trumpet she uses on her entrance. She was intending to whack Hikari Shimizu with it, but she got Kaderita instead by accident, and that allowed for Hikari Shimizu to apply a roll up on her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she wins the match. And then, of course, during the post match, well, trouble in paradise. Kadida and now Kadida is, well, they seem like they're upset how this match ended. So I don't know what La Pedida would think. So basically, I would say she needs to try to get these two to just kiss and make up or whatever. But who knows? Now our next match, we have Yuri and Misa Kagura. It's interesting to see those two team up because if you guys know this, they both debuted around the same day, November November 11th of 2021, I believe, in GTO. So if you guys miss, but however, they take on Miku Kane from T Hearts. She teams up with Izuki Aoki. Now, I'm kind of skeptical on this because, of course, there's more like these two teams are seems like they're makeshifts, but Yuri and Misa, well, it's no secret that they know each other too well during their time in GTO. So you ask yourselves, could they possibly go coexist it? Because Yuri did everything humanly possible to walk away from GTO because she felt that, of course, she couldn't keep up with Misa and everybody else. leaving GTO was possibly the best. But it seems now she was willing to bury the past and move forward. And that's exactly what she did. And she did that by applying the Swanton bomb on Tomiko, and just like that, one, two, three, it was over. Now, our next match we have coming from Stardom and a member of Hate, Raka, taking on Honori Hana. Now, of course, when it comes to Raka as a member of Hate, she wasn't alone. She had Momo Watanabe by her side as her second. Now, when it comes to Hate, you all know they like to cheat, they like to get involved in many ways to ensure the matches go in their favor. That's exactly what Momo did. While the ref was distracted, apparently the box was used once again by Ruka onto Hanori, and then picked up the win when she applied the refrigerator bomb. Now, when everybody were checking up on Hinori, how she was doing, well, of course, like Hate, they like to make a statement claiming they are the ones who are going to run the entire Joshi Wrestling under their terms without politics and all that. And of course, we did see many wrestlers try to get intervene to tell them not to get involved, to stop with this nonsense, but we'll see what happens down the road. Now, our main event, we have a 6-woman tag match. Team number 1, we have Unagi Sayaka, Yumiko Hota, the founder of Hearts, the T Hearts, and of course, coming all the way from 2AW, Ayame Sazamura. They take on La Frescas de Egoístas, consistent of Makoto, Veni, our current Beyond the Sea champion, and Nagisa Nozaki. Now, of course, when it comes to the La Frescas de Egoístas, they're all a bunch of heels. They like to make sure they win by any means necessary, not just by cheating, but proving their point. But however, when it comes to a veteran like Yumiko Hota, she is a no nonsense type of wrestler who doesn't give a damn exactly how you're going to win. But she ended up choking, of course, Veni. And Veni was unresponsive, so the referee stopped the match by when she applied a sleeper hold. And just like that, it was over. However, because you, Yumiko Hota took down Veni, that means by rule of thumb, and she has the right to challenge for the Beyond the Sea Championship. So that match will happen on the 20th of March. So hopefully we do get a chance to see it, and we'll see where that goes from there. But of course, Veni is not pleased with the fact that she lost in this fashion. So we'll see what happens on the 20th. But for now, we'll end things here and finish with all reviews. Let's move on to do our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Let's get started with, as always, with upcoming events. Now, many of you know this. Indy Hartwell has been released from WWE. She is currently doing the 90-day no compete clause. However, good news for everybody, she's already been booked to an independent show back in her native country of Australia. Yes, folks. Apparently, she has been booked for that, and it's from a company called Renegades of Wrestling, and this will happen on March 9th. And this is for the Renegades of Wrestling Women's Championship. She faces uh, Aisha, I think her name is right. So we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, more names have been announced for the upcoming West Coast Pros, West Coast Best Coast that will take place on the 22nd of March. They just announced LeBron Cozono will be making his official West Coast debut. And then, of course, as you know, Prestige will be in Las Vegas for the Nothing to Lose on April 17th. They just announced that Kylie Ray is going to be there. So that's pretty awesome. Now for some developments. Now, I know some of you may like what he says. You probably agree with him, but he's a very controversial person within the wrestling business. Jim Cornette, there's been discussions and that he's been talking about the potential return to WWE. Yes, folks, that is in. If you guys know this, he has worked with WWE in the past, and that You may have saw that whole documentary about that he was the mastermind behind Bret Hart's demise in WWE all those years ago. So practically, yeah. So we'll see what happens. If it's true, then we'll see. Now, for all you Yoshi Wrestling fans, if you guys are big fans of At Risk Girls, well, apparently, I want to. There's some sad news for all of you. I don't know this individual Yoshi wrestler named Yufa. It was announced that she will be leaving At Risk Girls and retiring from the entertainment activities after the Corkin Hall on March 16th. Now, they never said any. I'm thinking that she's probably, and from my understanding, I think she just wants to be a pro wrestler, and she can't do that with At Risk Girls. Now, keep in mind, guys, At Risk Girls does not have a contract policy, and that's how things happen. We saw what happened when people were, of course, accusing Rossi Ogawa of poaching six of the At Risk Girls who are currently now with Marvelous. So it's unclear what Yufa is going to do. Now, recently we have seen some former ladies end up in either in Mighty Gold or other promotions. So we'll see. If there's any news on her, we'll just see about that. Now, for our final development here, many of you probably know this that since um, they've been trying to add more members for the Up Up Girls pro wrestling unit that consisted, of course, of Miyu Watanabe, Raku, Shino Suzuki, and Uda Takami. Apparently, they were going to add this one named Kana, but due to the fact they have she that apparently due to her poor health and things have become difficult, so they're going to end her activities as a trainee. So basically, maybe they're saying they're cutting her loose. I'm not sure exactly if that's what it means. As you probably know, you have to be in good health to be a pro wrestler. Several wrestlers have left the promotion due to poor health. If you guys remember, it was what's her name, Akiri, Akiru Noah. Her friend Seta actually was had a health issue and she had to leave the promotion. So I don't know if there was something similar to that, but we'll see. But for now, we'll just you know end things here and call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, well, I am completely don't know what I'm going to do. I'm considering either watching the Mayuhiki 10th anniversary show and whatever I can find. So we'll see what it happens. I'm sure I'm going to be throwing more Japanese wrestling reviews for all of you. Seems that I have subscribers who are into that. So if you guys have friends who want to know, learn more about these promotions and review what happened in their events, tell your friends and tell them to follow and subscribe this channel, and it'll be worth the while. So we'll see what happens. But for now, let's end things here. And then I will say this that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!